a global activist and a social innovator with a strong passion for youth empowerment and sustainable development leveraging on digital technologies. Thank you so much, Yusuf, for joining us here in the studio.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, now let's move straight into the conversation. When we talk about governance, what exactly are we looking at?
Okay, the term governance, it simply means the role of political system that has to do with managing the affair of a state,
Okay.
the affair of a particular country, and also it's seeing on the safety and security of the people, the citizen it govern. So and beyond that, it's also the responsibility of governance to see the implementing or coming up with a policy that's going to be a benefit to the citizen.
Citizens.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, who's the youth? So, a lot of people might not be of the opinion that I'm not a youth anymore, so it's none of my business. But we've had certain statistics that says that the youth bulge, a trendy word, of course, it says that the increase in youth participation in developing countries in recent years, with Nigeria having its fair share as well. Now, according to the Worldometer, the youth accounts for 70% of Nigerians' population,
Yeah.
and over 50% below 17 years. The situation calls for urgent attention on the impact of youth participation in governments and the possible ills of non-inclusion of these demography, which is the youth now we're talking about. So now, who are the youth?
Yeah, youth statistically
Okay.
are the young people between the ages of, according to the United Nations, is between the ages of 15 to 24.
15 to 20.
And according to the Africa Youth Charter, so it's between the 18 to 35.
Okay.
And in Nigeria, national, our own national
Statistics,
policy,
yeah,
youth
policy.
national policy. So the age is between the 16 to 24. So globally, we don't have the global accepted statistic for the
statistics.
youth,
Okay.
but they come to the conclusion that different country with their different peculiarity,
Yeah.
and in Africa, we tend to have more of young people. So and different country, they have their own definition or or age range for the young people, for the youth.
Okay.
So but the one that's mostly common is the Africa Youth Charter, which is
Okay.
18 to 35.
Okay.
So it's between the stage is between it's this transition between the childhood to the adulthood,
Adulthood, yeah.
when you are still recognized that you still have a power, you still have the energy, the hope is there, you still have that strong belief, so you can dare what you dream about. So the energetic and the power and the hope that you have in that period, it's what qualify you to be a youth.
Okay.
So that's the simple definition of
youth.
who is
Now,
youth.
quite accurate statistics have been put out there. Now, why is it important for the youth to participate in governance? Because we've heard it countless times. They need to participate. They need to be a part of the process. Why is this number or this demography, why is it important for them to be part of the governance process?
Yeah, let me start from the statistic that we have in our place. So in Nigeria as a country, 70% or more than 70% are young people.
Okay.
So we can see when we are talking about the majority, so it simply means that youth are the majority of the country.
Okay.
Another beyond that is it's not only important, it is compulsory for the majority number of people to know how they're being governed,
Okay.
be part of that process, and also have their say. Because as a majority, it simply means any policy that's coming aboard, any law, any program, it's affecting you most than other part of the citizen. So it is not only important for the youth to participate, but it's a compulsory action of your life that we must take as a responsibility.
Okay.
So participating, youth participation in governance is beyond just get involved. it makes you to express your feeling as a young people. It makes you to be, to have a robust policy
Yeah.
that's going to speak on what the young people want.
Yeah.
And beyond that, it's also give you an avenue, to have your say in the policy that's coming from the government.
Okay.
And then you can address directly what's really affecting the young people.
Okay.
They said it is not for us if it's not, if we are not part of it.
Yeah.
So if we want a policy that's going to work for the young people, that's going to work for the majority. Let me use that. This is
Yeah,
majority
yeah,
people. So if we want a policy that's going to work for the majority and not even leaving out or leaving behind the minority. So the young people must stand to participate actively in political activities.
You see, we keep reiterating this thing week in, week out because it is important, like he said. It's just like I am the person who is sick. It's somebody else that's taking the drug.
Yeah.
See,
Exactly.
that's what it will most likely never work for me because I'm not part of my healing process.
Yes.
My healing process means that I have to take drugs
Yeah.
so that I can get better. But in an instance where I've been diagnosed for an illness and someone else happens to be taking the drug, you see, it has zero to no effect whatsoever.
Yeah.
In fact, it might even cause harm to the person taking the drug because they actually do not need it as
Exactly.
much as I, who is ill. And this is how important it is for the youth to participate in governance as well. Now, let's move on to the ways in which they can participate because this is one of the confusions that they might have. Because we opened up the phone lines in the last 2 episodes, and people have been like, our hands are tied. When we try to suggest something, it's more like they don't listen. Nobody listens to us. But how do you think they can command that attention? And how do you think they can participate in governance?
Yeah, youth participation in governance, it's divided into 2 parts.
Okay.
We have direct participation and indirect participation.
All right.
The direct participation of youth in governance is participating in electioneering process.
Okay.
As a citizen, it's your fundamental right and duty
Yeah.
to have a voter's card. Ensure that during the election you go out and cast your vote. These are the part of the direct participation.
All right.
Contesting for political position is also a direct participation.
Okay.
Belong to a political party
Party.
as a young people is so important
Yeah.
and is a direct participation. Working for in political offices is also a direct participation because you tend to have a one-on-one discussion with them, share your ideas, contribute to the policy and their programs. So all these are under direct participation. But in a situation where you don't have all this opportunity in direct participation, maybe because of the looking at the political system in our country, you may not have the money to buy a nomination form to contest.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
may not have the money to run for the elections. So for the meantime, which is also make you to be active, is to consider indirect participation.
Yeah.
But it's advisable that from the indirect participation, you should have a mind of diverting to the direct participation
Yeah.
because that is where you can actually make the real change. So you can look at the protest, you can look at participating in activism activities, volunteer for your community, ensure that you advocate, leverage on digital technology, especially social media, to hold government accountable,
Yeah.
make your voice heard. You can come up as a young people from a forum in your community to talk to your chairman or your political leaders, let them know what is or what your community is passing through. So all these, they are part of indirect participation.
Yeah.
But both direct and indirect, they are also important because they contribute majorly to having a good governance. And if we want to have the better society, if we want to have a better country and the future that we are all dream of, the Nigeria that we want
dream
as
of.
the Nigeria Youth Front, the Nigeria that we want, it's important that compulsory, I always say it's a compulsory duty for young people to participate. Because like what you said, no one know how you are feeling more than yourself.
Of course.
So if we have more young people in power, they can speak for us. They can say exactly what we are passing through.
Yeah.
They can let us know what young people are facing,
Yeah, from
and
their
they can from their perspective, and they can address it. And another opportunity that we have, if we have more young people in political offices, is they tend to have more open hearing than the
Yeah.
others one.
Yeah.
And their office is more accessible
Accessible.
than the other one. I think I remember when I was serving in Oyo State House of Assembly, and we are talking about the youth participation. Someone just mentioned that one of the advantages that we have if we have more young people in power is the fear of how do I want to address him? How do I want to talk to him? It's
They are
already
social
be
media
eliminated.
savvy.
Yes.
Yeah, so they can
It's
use
also
all
be
those
eliminated
platforms.
because
Yeah.
if you want to talk to someone that's above you in
Yeah.
age, that respect will also be there.
Yeah.
But as young people, it's not that there won't be a respect,
Yeah.
but you can just free to them. The way I can talk to you,
Yeah.
I can't talk to maybe someone that's 17 or 80.
Like that.
You- I may not be freely express myself. I may not have that opportunity. But if we have more young people in political offices, it's the better we have them, the better for our
us.
society and for us as a young people.
So let me tell us, the first step is being a part of the political party.
Yes.
Pick a political party you want to be a part of.
Yeah.
It's not just for a certain fraction of people, a certain group of people.
No.
Because I hear when we say this power keeps circulating among the same people.
Mm.
There's nobody to contend for that power or contend with the people already, in power or already in office.
Yeah.
But now we've been talking about it on a national level. Let's talk about it as regards the FCT.
Okay.
Because this is one place that we have a mix of different tribes and cultures and religions, everybody scattered across the city. But we still see that certain things are just narrowed to a few people. Not many people are aware of how they can participate politically here in the FCT. So how do you think this can be done?
Yeah, the first thing is we need to understand that FCT is a political headquarters of the country.
Of course.
And for that's the first advantage that we have as a citizen or resident of the FCT.
Yeah.
So participating in political system, we tend to have more open opportunity than other people that's in other country. Here you can have a letter to submit in National Assembly, and with the little cost you can get to the National Assembly.
Yeah.
Not someone that will be coming from a far state.
Yeah.
So and not to participate and be active is something that we need to develop interest in, and we need to see it as our duty. Then we can begin to take actions. And there are many opportunities. Like I mentioned now, you can draft a memo. Maybe you have something bothering your mind and you think you want to contribute to the development of our nations. So you can come up with a memo and submit it to the ministry office or National Assembly or any political office, even the presidential failer. So you can take your letter there. So if you feel that they may not have your time in that way, you can leverage on digital media, sending an email to them, get their phone number to call them, or send a message to them. That's another way. Another thing we can do as a young people in FCT is we can form a group. Because what you think you can achieve alone, if you have more support, you can achieve beyond that.
Yeah.
So you can join, you can form a group to advocate for better community, holding government accountable, ensure that the government are following. They are doing what they're supposed to do for your community.
Yeah.
That's also part of it. And looking at the other side, as a young people, is beyond to expect government to do everything for us.
Yeah.
There are some certain things that we can do.
on our own.
I always encourage young people, if you see a pothole in your community, before getting or in the process of getting in touch with your political leader, it's something you can also think of what you want to do about it. Gather yourself together. Maybe you should feed that pothole, or if you see something going wrong, if it is something you can do as a young people, it's also part of, because what's made up of a good governance is the action from the government and the support from the citizen, active citizen. So if we are not active, it will be difficult to achieve, for the government to achieve their agenda, and also for us to have a good governance. So we must always trying our best, our efforts to be active and put in our support and ideas for the government and for our society. So, and I know there are a couple of activities going on in civic space, like what you are having now is part of the youth participation. A kudos to the organizer of this program, POMAD, with support from the Nigerian Youth Fund. They are doing amazing stuff. And the Nigerian Youth Fund are also supporting iLead Africa. So we also have a couple of youth activities, so which campaign are open for young people to participate, especially in FCT. So right now it's ongoing. Young Political Leaders Forum application is ongoing. They can check that on our website, iLeadAfrica.org, or go to our social media handle at iLead for Africa, so they can apply. So we focus on FCT for now. We are still extend to other states. So these are part of the benefits that they can also be part as the citizen of FCT. And beyond that, I know many or couple of civil society, they have many programs. They used to tend to hold their program majorly in Abuja. So we can look at online. If you see anyone that you have interest in, put in the application and attend the event. So before you see it, you'll be having the opportunity to contribute your ideas, network, and share your innovative ideas that you have. And before I end that, social media is also one of the best platforms for us. It's also one of, if you feel like, oh, you don't want to go this, you can't attend program, you can leverage on your social media. So, and there's a way of criticizing government that they are going to listen to you. A constructive way of criticizing them and giving your own view in a way that they will understand. It's not to tackle them or abuse them, or this cannot take us anywhere. So we need to be conscious of that. And also, as a citizen of FCT, like I said, this is headquarters of political system in Nigeria. So they are other states believe that you tend to have more government benefit, you tend to have more access to political offices than they are. So we must also use this advantage at the best of our interest. Thank you.
All right, guys, we have been hanging out with Yusuf Liadi Abiodun, and he is the founder of executive director of iLead Africa, a global activist and social innovator with a strong passion for youth empowerment and sustainable development, leveraging on digital technologies. And from everything that he has said, all of this conversation, you'd agree to that portfolio, which I did read out right about now. But yes, before we keep up with the show, let me also remind us that you can catch up with every one of these programs here by just going onto our YouTube channel at Eagles FM Abuja, and you can replay this. Send the links to your friends so that they can understand these things. Change begins with you and I, and it begins with you sending out those links or that link to your friends so that they can understand what you have just understood and be a part of the political process as well. Now, you can also go ahead to follow ProMAD Foundation at ProMAD NG on X, which was formerly Twitter, and ProMAD Foundation on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. You can also follow the Civic Matters on X and the Civic Matters on Facebook. It is live, I'm hoping, right on those pages. So it is important for us to be a part of this. We'll head out on a very short break. When we get back, we'll keep up this conversation by opening up the phone lines and hearing what you all have to say about youth participation in governance. It's an amazing conversation, and I hope to see you guys there pretty soon. Do not go anywhere. It's Mata and Yusuf Liadi, and we will both be right back pretty soon.
Through our research and policy memos, we have identified the challenges facing youth civic participation. Now, it's time to equip you with the tools you need to engage with government agencies and elected leaders effectively. Are you tired of feeling sidelined in the governance process? Do you want to make a difference in your community? Don't let your voice go unheard. Tune into Eagles 102.3 FM, Abuja, every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on the Civic Martyrs and be part of the movement for a more inclusive, accountable, and transparent government. Our mission is clear: to bridge the gap between citizens and government, ensuring that public resources are located to address your priorities. The Civic Martyrs is sponsored by ProMAD Foundation with the support of the Nigerian Youth Futures Fund, NYFF.
All right, welcome again, and thanks for staying with us. It's still Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja, and we're still on the Civic Matters. Let's open up the phone line so that we can have you contribute. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, good morning.
Eh?
Okay, it's definitely a wrong one. Anyways, the phone lines are open on 090-7353-0044 or 090-8766-8888. Remember, you can leave us a message on WhatsApp letting us know what your thoughts are on the conversation that we have been having all morning on 090-9705-4450. It is the Civic Matters. And let me take it one more time for everyone who is joining us here for the first time. Please endeavor to call us up on 090-7353-0044 or 090-8766-8888. Leave us a message again on WhatsApp on 9705-4450. The conversation still continues on ProMat Foundation's page, ProMat NG on X, and ProMat Foundation on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on Instagram as well, at Civic Matters on X and the Civic Matters on Facebook. So the conversation continues right there. You can go over to their page and send them messages and contributions as we get the conversations that we have here week in, week out. Now let's go back to Mr. Yusuf Liadi Abiodun again. And what do you think are the challenges of youth participation in governance?
Okay, I think youth tend to face more barriers when it comes to participate in governance, and one of it is it started from them no interest.
Okay, so let's hold that thought for a bit, and then we get on to listen to our callers. Hello, good morning.
Hello, Mata, good morning.
Good morning. Welcome and thanks for joining us on the show. Please tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Okay, my name is Mr. Ishwa. I'm calling from Ugariki.
It's good to have you join us. So talk to
Thank
us.
you. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you.
First of all, let me commend the guest on the platform. Then I also make my quick contribution.
Thank you.
If you look at Nigeria, is like a parent or a family that have children, but they don't care about their children or the future of their children, and they don't care about the family heritage. They don't care about the family successor. They are interested only on themselves, forgetting that this family lineage will continue to remain as long as life exists, as long as there is humanity. So they don't care about that. They only think about now. Now, when they are gone, what will their children do? So for me, the problem, not that you don't have capable youth. Look at the kind of vibrant youth you have on the platform here. Now, if you give that kind of youth, and some of us who are within the age of 40 years or below, the opportunity, you can see a whole lot of things that they can do. They have the capacity, they have the ability, they have the competence. They may not have adequate experience, but with advice and guidance, they can do a whole lot. So this thing has to do with a very critical three processes. The first process is a recognition that there is an heritage. When the parents can recognize that after me, what next? What will happen to my family? What will happen to this nation, this society after me? So the recognition is the first thing. The recognition will provide opportunity for participation. Then you talk about now, this is when you begin to open the space for participation. Sometimes people will say the youth to begin to participate. Let me give you an instance. Some of us registered with some of these small parties because you can't register with big party. In a big party, you will even be looking for a way even for you to be made a local youth leader. It will not happen. They will give somebody at the age of 50 and above a youth leader. Now, when it comes to election, the price of form, nomination form, will be skyrocketed that how many youth that can afford the millions of naira to get the form. So when you go to smaller party, you will just remain there because you will not they will always rig you out. Yes, if people say that you should vote, you don't count. We know it's a selection we do. They only choose those from the major party because they will never give you the opportunity. So when this thing is done, you will get frustrated in that smaller party. You weigh down, then you begin to think, well, I join them. And that is why I always maintain there are two factors that lead every man in a society. Either your environment leads you or your values lead you. But those who their values lead in Nigeria are very tiny. That is the matter. So, if there is a participation that will be created, open the space for participation, having in mind that there is a heritage for this society, for this family, then you move into involvement. Involvement now is where you begin to, the youth will now begin to involve in contesting election, in policy making, so that you can build them, you can nurture them, you can equip them, you can mentor them.
Yes.
These are the processes, the process of recognition, the process of participation, and the involvement. You are just to talk about direct and indirect, but I describe it in another form as an involvement. So these are the things that let us not be weighed down by the youth. I still think that there is a whole lot of things the youth can do, but it is a whole lot of work. You have to work, and because some of us have experienced that, and it continues to also do that. Will not give up, and will never compromise on our values and standards, believing that one day that thing should be done in our society. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That was quite a very awesome conversation right there. He said something. It's either your values lead you or your society leads you. And truly, very few people are led by their values, because again, if you are a man of value or woman of value, you suffer the most. We know that you suffer the most in situations like that, but that shouldn't be a deterrent. We keep complaining about these things. Now the change is here. The change means that we sensitize the youth to let them know the power that they wield in this sphere. You are the majority. So the majority, if the majority cannot come up with something good, why then should we trust the majority with ruling the country or governance in the first place? So you see, it is important that you know first the power that you wield in such a space, and then start to find out. He said something like,